Thank you. Welcome back to the final afternoon session of this extremely interesting and valuable conference. You will have noticed that in order to give you a little flavor of life in Los Angeles, we even organized a small earthquake for you last night. And I hope you all enjoyed that. It was downgraded as the evening went on from a 5.1 to a 4 point something, so it wasn't as dramatic as we'd hoped. But this afternoon is going to be a different sort of afternoon to the sessions that have gone before. We're not talking about individual case histories, we're not talking about research, we're talking about the future, the past and the future of panel paintings conservation. And you'll notice that the overall title within which this conference fits is the Panel Paintings Initiative. It's a very, very big concept which we at the Getty and our various partners who are represented here are undertaking. And in order to explain the wider concepts of this Panel Paintings Initiative, I'd like to invite the two people that have been most concerned with setting all this up. That's Ton Wilmering and Kathy Dardes, Ton of the Getty Foundation and Kathy of the Getty Conservation Institute, to give us a briefing on the Panel Paintings Initiative, how it was set up and where we are going from here. And then as the afternoon goes on, there will be a chance for you all to enter the discussion on the future of panel paintings conservation. So if I could invite Kathy and Ton to the podium first. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Good afternoon, everybody. As David was saying, this is a collaboration between three programs at the Getty, the Getty Museum, the Getty Conservation Institute, and the Getty Foundation. And we're embarking on a multi-year initiative which by no means we could just do by ourselves. And we are tremendously happy to have such an excellent advisory committee, to have the commitment of various international institutions like the Metropolitan Museum, the Opificio della Pietra Dura, at the Prado Museum, and the London Conservation Studio. And we're all working in tandem and in concert to make this initiative a success. And our main aim, basically, is to keep the field of panel paintings conservation healthy and vibrant and sort of encourage new developments. Now, the foundation is the Getty's philanthropic arm. So where we have our strength is through grant making. And in this initiative, we, to date, have made 2 grants. The first grant, sorry, wrong button. The first grant I will talk about briefly in a minute is a survey of the field, and that really has as a purpose to update our knowledge. Since 1995, a lot of improvements have happened in the field, a lot of development. Testimony are the excellent presentations that we've heard yesterday and today. And secondly, the second goal of the survey is really to sort of gauge what are the future needs as this field develops. So to that end, we made a grant to the Statens Museum in Denmark, and Jürgen Wadem, together with Mikkel Scharf, have began visiting institutions and to try to have spoken with curators and conservators and discuss current needs, perhaps future needs, current capacity. And Jörn and Mikkel and Anne will give an update about that in about 20 minutes. The second part of the initiative will really focus on training, on professional development. And mostly that will happen through, what we can fund is through side-by-side training. So that's intensive teaming up of younger generations of conservators, mid-career conservators, or sometimes advanced career conservators, to really work side by side with the specialists. And I showed you before a predella of the Woodworkers Guild from Leiden of the 16th century. And here is a detail, and you can see actually a little panel being prepared for painting. And this is just from a cabinet making workshop. And the tradition in training there lied with the guilds. Just for many years you work together with a master until you develop enough skills for yourself to become your own master. And very much along that line, we think that the transfer of skills is important for panel paintings as well. And that is not to say that skills should be seen as just the handling of tools, because if you rely on that alone, that is certainly not enough. And this is a panel painting by Antonio Vivarini that George shared with me. And because you're all interested in the gory details, I'll just pull this up for you. So it's not only the handling of tools, but very important is the decision making. How do you arrive at the right approach, at the right protocol to treat a panel responsibly and to stabilize it responsibly? And that is a process that takes many years to develop. And that leads me to the second grant that we've made under this initiative, which was to the Metropolitan Museum of Art to help have George Besaca work more closely together with José de la Fuente and really go through this enormous, lengthy process of sort of determining what are the right steps, and then, of course, following through with incredibly skilled treatments. And on the left corner, you see George and José working on the Eve panel that he spoke about yesterday. And on the right panel, on the right picture on the top, you see George cleaning José's hair. And and then also, of course, in the background, you see Bela Nagy from Budapest, who was observing several steps in the treatment. And so this grant had various purposes and helped, as I said, George and José collaborate very closely, have curators and conservators from Budapest observe the treatment, and afford Alan Miller, who's George's assistant, to also work with them on a particularly complicated process. So as this initiative unfolds, we hope that we will continue to make grants for professional development, as I said, along the lines for emerging conservators who made several years of side-by-side training, mid-career conservators who would perhaps between 3 to 12 months of training, and then advanced career conservators who perhaps after one very focused treatment could then also become a trainer under this initiative. This initiative has various phases and various parts to it. This symposium, of course, is the very public and sort of first very visible part of the initiative. As I mentioned, we have made 2 grants. In the years to come, we will make more grants. And then the GCI will develop a series of workshops and web resources that Kathy Dardes is going to speak about now.
Right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here to describe the work of the Getty Conservation Institute within the framework of the Panel Paintings Initiative, and most specifically the work of my department, the Education Department. In the future phase of this project, the GCI will be assisting, as Ton had already indicated, in the development of workshops that will focus on various aspects of panel stabilization, both theoretical and practical. The workshops will be designed to complement the residency training that Ton had described. And they're going to be open, we hope, to both the people taking the residencies as well as other paintings conservators. In the next year, we hope to identify the range of topics and issues that we are going to be exploring in the first series of the workshops. Given that there is so much that is presently going on in this project, we really don't yet have a target date for the workshops. Obviously, the schedule is going to have to depend on the availability of instructors and of venues, but I do hope that we will be planning for the workshops in the next year and that you will be able to learn more about it as we do. one of the important aspects of this initiative, I believe, is the possibility to share ideas and information and resources that are going to be generated by the project over the years. We know that while the residencies and even the workshops will serve a certain number of people, there really is a much larger professional community, other paintings conservators, scholars, curators, scientists, who are going to be interested in the work that we're doing and who may themselves want to contribute to it in some way and contribute to the collective resources that we hope to pull together. Now, personally, I think one of the most promising aspects of this project is its potential to support the work of many individuals and many institutions who are active in this area. We know that the interest in this topic goes well beyond the Getty project team and the group of advisors, and that other experiences and other viewpoints need to be taken into account and are waiting to be tapped. So we are very conscious of that, and we're hoping that as we develop the project, at the same time we are developing a website, a web being now an important means of communication, which will help us to not only make available the resources that we're developing, but will also eventually be used for collaboration and to hold the ideas and information that other people are contributing to the project. I think this project will not be as successful as we want it to be if it's only considered a Getty project. This is a project that we are organizing, but we are hoping will have a wide involvement and deep commitment from other people in the field. As I said, we will be making didactic resources available through the website, and there will also be an online searchable bibliography, which I will talk about in a moment. The website that we have for the project at the moment looks a little bit like this, but we are going to be expanding it over the course of the next weeks and months. As Tim Whalen mentioned yesterday in his introduction, one of the first resources that we're going to make available on this site is the video of this symposium. And then we will also have the proceedings of the symposium available on the website, I'm sure by this time next year, in downloadable form. There will also be a print edition of the proceedings. And I should mention that the editors for the proceedings of this symposium will be Alan Phoenix of the GCI and Sue-Ann Shui of the Getty Museum. And I think I hope many of you know that the proceedings of the 1995 symposium are already on the website and are available for free download. Now, to get back to the bibliography, one of the GCI's contributions to this initiative is to make available a bibliography on the structural stabilization of panel paintings. And in a few moments, you'll hear from our Danish colleagues who are doing the heavy lifting of this bibliography, actually doing a very comprehensive literature survey to provide us with the foundation for this database. Obviously, the database doesn't exist yet online, and so I'm only able to show you what is presently online. We at the GCI often do bibliographies in connection with our work, and you can find them on our Project Bibliographies page. All of the bibliographies there are searchable. And I'm going to borrow an example from a project I know very well, a bibliography on museum emergency preparedness. You can search this bibliography, as you will be able to do with a panel bibliography, by keyword, by author, by date, by a title or a fragment of a title. And with any luck, you'll get a long list of publications. Clicking on any one of them, and you will be able to find the full citation and, where available, the abstract for that publication. Many of our bibliographies also have links to the article if it's available online, and happily more and more things are becoming available online. Many of our bibliographies also collect web links as well, because the web now has become an important source of information. So we kind of could define bibliographies very loosely to mean both print and online publications. It's printed literature, it's gray literature. I'm not going to go into this in too much detail because you're going to hear more about it in just a few moments. But I would like to kind of repeat what I said earlier, in that this is a project that we are launching, but we want to do it very much with participants from all corners of the field. We know that there is a huge interest in this. There is enormous need to prepare the next generation of panel conservators. There's need to share information and resources, and I look forward to doing it with all of you. And if at any point you have any ideas or information that you think that we should be making available on our website, please do let me know. It is not just the project website, it is a clearinghouse of information on on panel paintings and their conservation. So I will give the floor over to David because we have a very full program for the afternoon, but I look forward to talking with you more about what we're doing later.